we're going to be doing an Anzac story. So this one is a really famous story about Simpson and Duffy. So let's find out actually who Simpson and Duffy are. So here we've got our title, here we've got who wrote it and who illustrated it. Once there was a man and a donkey. The man's name was John Simpson Kirkpatrick, but everyone called him Simpson. He was a soldier in the Australian Army. He went to war halfway across the world to Gallipoli in Turkey. Now, Turkey's another country. Gallipoli is close to the sea and a place of steep, rugged cliffs. To surprise the enemy, the Australian soldiers arrived in ships at night. Crowded into boats they came across towards the beach. The Turkish soldiers watched from the cliffs and opened fire with machine guns and rifles. Many soldiers were hit by that hailstorm of bullets as they scrambled ashore. The war was to be a terrible war, with thousands of Australians and Turkish soldiers being killed. Simpson worked as the medical corps, as a stretcher bearer. So that means it's someone that carries the injured somewhere. The stretcher bearers carried 2 wounded soldiers down the steep, slippery hillside to the dressing station on the beach. Now, dressing station doesn't mean where they put their clothes on. It means when they had injuries and things, how they would clean the injuries up and put bandages on them. That's what dressing means. The track was only a goat track, rough, narrow, and very dangerous. Now, a goat track doesn't mean only goats went on it. It means that it wasn't a proper road. It was just a line, basically, that they followed through. Soldiers named it Shrapnel Gully. Enemy snipers waited to fire on anyone who dared to go past. Now, a sniper is someone with a gun who shoots at a specific target. With so many soldiers killed or wounded, there were not enough stretchers. The stretcher bearers had to make use of the ground sheets, holding the heavy corners of the ground sheets hurt and cramped in their hands. Again and again, they had to stop and rest. Often a casualty had to be carried safely, slumped across the shoulders of a stretcher bearer. So when you're slumped over, you're actually just hanging over the edge of that person's shoulder. Simpson was a kind man who loved animals. He had only been on Gallipoli one day when he found a donkey. The donkey was alone nibbling grass near a soldier needing help. When Simon was a boy, he grew up in England and he used to give children donkey rides on the beach. "I have an idea," said Simpson, pulling a handful of bandages from his pocket. He made a halter for the donkey so he could lead the donkey around. Then carefully, he lifted the soldier onto the donkey's back. That's pretty clever, isn't it? He didn't have to slump it over his shoulder. Guiding the donkey and holding onto the man, Simpson set off for the dressing station. The Australian soldiers looked in amazement. "Oh, there goes Simpson," they said. "Not with a stretcher, not with a man across his shoulders, but a man with a donkey." Simpson called his donkey Duffy. Many times a day and sometimes into the night, Simpson and his donkey went up to the dangerous Shrapnel Gully to bring back soldiers wounded in the fighting. When they reached the battlefield, Simpson tied Duffy to a tree out of sight. So he waited, crouching in the bushes until it was safe to run forward and drag a man to safety. After bandaging the wounds, he lifted the soldier onto Duffy's back. Often the donkey's back was red with blood from the soldier's terrible injuries. And returning down the track, Simpson just kept on walking while bullets whined and spat all around him. Only the flick of Duffy's big ears showed that he was uneasy. Simpson would tap him with a stick and talk to him quietly to give him courage. Because of course it was very frightening for the animal to hear all those noises of bullets and things. Gallipoli is close to the sea, a place of steep, rugged cliffs. Oh, I think we've got this again. Simpson worked with the Medical Corps as a stretcher bearer. Everyone has a special holiday to honour all the Australians who went overseas to fight in wars. Some people wake up early to attend a dawn service. Others join the crowd to watch an Anzac parade. The story of Simpson is a story of one of many heroes who fought in wars. If you go to Canberra, which is our capital city, you will find a statue of Simpson and his donkey outside the Australian War Memorial. And that's it. Thank you very much.